So Craig, that was the first time you were using the Stoke. How was it?
First time ever.
Yeah.
So it was really good. It made paddling out a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah.
I just kept it on low and just stroked.
Yeah.
And it actually doesn't disconnect. Every time I take a paddle, it stays connected. I've actually got to put my hand under for like a full 2 seconds, which would be a paddle like that kind of speed.
Yeah.
To disconnect. Otherwise, it just stays connected.
Beautiful. And were you using it? So you used it, made it easier getting out. How was it getting up onto the wave?
At first, it was hard because I had to figure out where do I put the remote.
Yep.
And then when I figured out, I could either catch the wave first, or let go of the remote and grab onto the rails and stand up. So I did that a few times.
Yeah.
And other times on the really small little ones, I just held the remote in my hand and just put my hand over the remote. Once I got the hang of that, then it was
So do you think you were getting smaller waves, wider on the break?
Much smaller and much wider, because there was 20 learner surfers out there who were party waving every wave. I ran into one of them, sorry. But I just wanted to keep wide of them. And so keeping really wide on a small wave, I could just accelerate onto it. I actually even got one where I got on the wave, I was surfing it, and then I lost the wave and I quickly grabbed the trigger, pulled it, and then got back on the wave again.
Beautiful.
So that was cool.
And tell us about what foil you're on and what setup and how easy it was to set it up.
This is a 4.8 Mr. Bennett signature foil board, prone specific board. I've got a Cabrina H1000, which is a 1,050 square centimetre wing on it.
Yep.
So it's a full prone setup with an 80 centimetre mast.
Yep.
You can see I've got it mounted really high.
Yep.
So it's really only assisting when I'm getting onto the wave.
Yep.
As soon as I get onto the wave and surf, the turns, the banks, they feel exactly the same. It actually doesn't feel any different. Pumping, it's probably, maybe it's 10% harder pumping out and connecting waves, but I connected waves out there, which for my level, like if I can connect 3 waves, then I'm wrapped. Like that is really good for me.
And it weighs about 3 kilos and it's right up by the top of the board. So you're not feeling...
It adds really hardly any swing weight at all. Because this whole setup is only, like the board is only like 3 kilos. And so it's adding, maybe my foil, actually don't know how much it weighs, probably 3.
Yep.
So it's probably going from 6 to 9 kilos. It's still a light setup.
Yep.
Compared to an e-foil, which is like 36 kilos, which is a dog to turn on a wave.
Yep.
This enables me to actually do the sharp turns.
Yeah.
Come back out, connect waves.
Yeah.
And on small days, catch waves where I would normally not be able to catch them.
And then rigging it when you got to get onto the water, how long does it take? A couple of minutes?
Well, it's just 2 bolts.
Yeah.
So once you know where the setup is, it's just 2 bolts there. Aerials on the front.
Yeah.
And then it's got a couple of tabs on the bottom, as you can see.
Yeah.
So you see the tabs on the bottom?
And once they're set up, it's good to go. You don't have to reset it. You just unbolt the battery box and take it off.
Yeah. Yeah, so the setup's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes as long to set up that as it puts it to a wetsuit on.
Yeah.
So it's not an issue.
Perfect. Good stuff.
And interestingly, the leg rope, I thought for sure was going to get stuck in the propeller, and it didn't.
Yeah.
So
was that something you kept a specific eye on at the beginning, or?
Yeah, I did. I just made sure before I started to paddle that it was stretched out, and then I just forgot.
Yeah.
And it stayed out of the way. Because obviously you're moving forward and it washes back.
Yeah. So scale of 1 to 10, recommend it to your foiling friends?
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly, I think when you're learning.
Yeah.
And you want to get out, and maybe you haven't got the paddle fitness.
Yeah.
To paddle a prone board, you've got to be really fit.
Yeah.
So to actually that paddle assist, just to get onto the wave, you can catch it wider.
Yeah.
And use a bigger board. Like it's really good.
Yeah.